Welcome back to Let's Make a Game, a channel about making computer role-playing games using the free program Twine and the Sugarcube format for Twine. In this video, I'd like to continue talking about my current project of coding an activation-based combat system. So in the last video on this subject, not the last video because the last video was about a place where you can get some pixel art for your game, but the video before that we looked at the passage roll, and we looked at how if there are any successes which the player has achieved, we set this variable can_attack to 1 to let the program know that the enemy pictures have to be links. In this example, there's only one enemy, but in many combats, perhaps most, there'll be more than one, and so the player will have a choice of who they want to attack, and the way that they make that choice is by clicking on the picture of the enemy, which means that in particular circumstances we have to make the picture a link. So we've set canAttack equal to 1, and having done that we would then include display. So let's have a look at display. And the first bit of the code is the code which displays the pictures of the enemies. And the relevant bit of the code that we want to look at is this: if acting_side is equal to 1 and can_attack is equal to 1. Acting_side keeps track of, as you might expect, whether the player characters are acting or the enemies are acting. And if it's equal to 1, then the player characters are acting. So this means if the player characters are acting and they've just scored at least one success. So we have this text here, which is $Y. This is going to be used when we print the picture, regardless of which of these ifs and else ifs we use, because a lot of it is exactly the same. And it looks very complicated, but I'll go through it bit by bit, and it's not really. The square bracket img just means it's an image. Square bracket, and what we're showing here is the hover text. So it's enemy_name Z, Z being the number of the enemy that we're currently displaying. Enemy_name being an array that has the enemy names, of course. /r, this particular slash, the top left to bottom right slash, followed by an R, means put a carriage return. So we'll have the name, which is the undead sorcerer in the example, activation chance, and then we have the enemy_chance, the Z slot of that array, which is their activation chance in the example at 70, plus the character %. Then we have the /r again, so another return, and hit points, and we show their hit points. So all of that is just the hover text. Then we have this not horizontal line, this vertical line, and now we've got the beginning of the location of the artwork, and it's art/enemy Z. What we don't have is the .png, and we don't have the D or the A if they're relevant. So this is all of the bits that are in common with all of the options. So if acting side is equal to 1 and canAttack is equal to 1, we add to that Y, we add .png. We would have added A.png or D.png if we were using one of the special pictures, the ones that have either a red outline or a black and white picture, but we're not. Then we have within square brackets the link that the picture will take the program to, which is attack. And then we have any changes to variables, which is Z to the current value of Z. That is storing which character is going to be attacked. And then we print Y. So that will print the picture, the default picture of enemy 1, or if there were more than one enemies, it would print default pictures of all of the enemies. it would print them as a link, which sends the program to the passage attack, and it will set Z to, in this case, the value 1, but if there was more than one enemy, it would depend on which picture was clicked, and the point of having that is so that the program knows which character will lose hit points if they are attacked, of course. And so once we've done that, there's a link, and the player can click on that, and we will go to, once it happens, we'll go to attack and see what happens. And that is all we have time for in this video. In the next video, we'll look at what happens in the attack passage. I will leave it there for now. I hope that was useful or interesting to at least some of you, and I hope you will tune in next time.